Welcome, welcome, welcome. Nice to see everybody. Hope you're doing well. It's Friday night. It's fishy time. Or any other time, I suppose, because we very rarely talk about fish on these streams. But, we'll see how we get on. Friday night, welcome to Fishy Business, your slice of fishy fun on a Friday evening. That's a bit close to my face, so I'm going to move it a little bit. Robin Williams, pour me another drink. That's the first message that came up. I don't know what that means. Graham, buy me a calendar, buy me calendar, buy my calendar. Yes, very much. Even in Dangerous Dan, I will do my shameless shilling any second now. So if you want to go and make a cup of tea, if you've already bought a calendar, now would be the time to do that. Have I turned my mic on? Yes, I have. Wow. Only Oscars. Hello yourself. Evening from a damp, cold Edinburgh, says Ross. Evening, Ross. Nice to see you. Dave the Divers in NJW. Hi from Doncaster. Hi from Sheffield. Hiya, Sir Grey. Oh, I've had a promotion. I'm now a Knight of the Realm. Thank you, Silver Creek's Wildlife. Silver Creek's Wildlife. Is that's a name change? Or have I just not noticed that? Scott, evening. Don't forget to hit the like button. Bit of a cold coming on. It's all fine. Don't forget to hit the like button on the way in. Very true. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining me. Tonight we have a fun-filled agenda full of me trying to get you to buy things or give to charity. Me trying to trip you up with some quiz questions. If you want to do some last-minute prep, you remember last week we changed the rule to the quiz. Tweaked, not changed the rules. We tweaked the rules. That if you win the quiz, then you get to pick a specialist subject for the next week. So last week, the quiz winner picked 1980s comedy films. So there's going to be a portion of the questions will be around 1980s comedy films. For my frame of reference, I used films that showed up in the top 100 films of the 1980s list on IMDb. So there you go. Have at that, what you will. There are a few quiz questions, fishy questions in there as well, but I also endeavoured to make some easy questions. So there'll be a little bit of fastest finger first, a little bit of 1980s movie trivia, and a little bit of random stuff as well. So we'll see how we get on. I changed it because I do more than just fish and I'm wild. There you go. That makes sense then, yes. Tim Riptile, my daughter Layla is playing tonight too. Very good. The more the merrier. The more the merrier. June says, I can't decide on physical calendar or digital. The distance says digital. Right, we'll do the camera shilling straight away. In fact, no, we'll do the normal shilling straight away. If you wouldn't mind clicking the subscribe button. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. It makes my ego inflate ever so slightly. Going watching some of my videos, also very useful, helping to support the channel. These are all ways you can support the channel for absolutely free. It doesn't cost you anything at all. Just clicking some buttons might cost you a couple of milliseconds of your time. If you want to invest a little bit more, going and watching one of my videos, that might take a few minutes of your time. That would be useful. And especially, I would really like you to watch my last video. It's a very short one. It's only 5 minutes long or something. All about my calendar drive. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go and watch the video. It will explain it. But my videos are monetized, so however much money I make on that video from ad revenue from YouTube, I will also donate to the good causes. But to explain a little bit, every year I do a charity calendar. It's a fishy themed calendar, so if you like fish, and you must do if you're here, I don't think my winning personality is going to get you here any other way. If you like times, days, months, years, then the calendar is for you. I'm quite forgetful. I've used my own calendar regularly to make a note of when fishy events are on, that kind of stuff. And you can hang it up in your fish room, near your fish tank, in your kitchen, in your living room, wherever you want to, wherever you would hang up a calendar. Great presents for Christmas, for anybody in your life that's into that kind of stuff, or great presents for someone to get you. So, if you've got kids and you don't want them spending loads of money, just say, oh, get me this. This will do nicely. It's available in digital format and physical format. The physical format is mainly for people in the UK, because then postage is all included in the price, all that good stuff. But if you do live further afield, you have options. You can get in touch with me and we can work out maybe pay a little bit more and I'll ship it to you wherever you are to cover the postage costs. Or you have a digital version, so you can take that, print it yourself, take it to your local print shop and ask them to make it up into a calendar for you, or just have it yourself as your own version. So that's the shilling. The causes, in fact, we'll talk about the causes a little bit, shall we? The causes we chose, or I announced last week, were Dr. Awesome, friend of the channel, the Amazon Research for Ornamental... God, it's so hard. What's it called? It's the Amazon Research Centre for Ornamental Fishes, ARCOF. That's number one. Number two is the Freshwater Life Project. I've chosen them both because they are fishy themed. In the past years we've done not random charities, but other charities that have nothing to do with fish. This year we've done ones to do with fish, suggested by your good selves who have joined my Discord community. So, you know, if you're not in the Discord community, get in there. You can suggest it for next year. More about conservation, education, support. So they both do the same sort of things in different ways in different areas. So Amazon Research Centre for Ornamental Fishes obviously concentrates on a specific part of the Amazon. Whereas the Freshwater Life Project is kind of worldwide, doing all kinds of things, whether they be rivers, seas, puddles, whatever. But it's about educating the wider public in the role these water systems and fisheries play in the wider society that are connected to them, how important they are, and then hopefully spreading that message so that they get a little bit more conservation for these areas and help them thrive and help them support the people who live and work around those regions, and stop some negative things like deforestation, all that kind of stuff, and generally just raise the standards of everything. And why this is important to us in the hobby is because some of these are about nurturing better practices for how we get the fish we like to keep in our aquariums. So that's the very high level of it. I've kind of just told you the video, but if you would go bookmark it, make a note to go and watch it. If you've already watched it a couple more times, because the more views I get on that video, the more money I earn from that video, and all that money I will also donate. So all the money from the calendars that I've made, all the money from whether it's digital or physical, all the money from the video that I make, will all be going to 50-50 to these two causes. If you don't want to donate to either of those, if you don't want to donate to either of those causes, that's also fine. You just have to put up with me mentioning it every 20 minutes for the next 2 hours. If you don't want a calendar but still want to donate, then that's a different matter. You have an option. I'm trying to show you what the option is. But there's also a GoFundMe, where if you just want to give, or you've bought a calendar but you are flush this month and you want to give a little bit more money, then the GoFundMe is the place to do that, and you can give a little bit more. I'm looking at other avenues, whether I can get my company does some kind of charity matching scheme, so they might contribute something. So there's other things here, but just trying to raise some money. It's all pictures that either I've taken or you've taken. I've done a little bit of the I forgot what I was going to say there. The pictures are of my fish and your fish. So we've done a little bit of a poll in the past few weeks to choose what we thought were the best pictures, and just it's only a little bit of money. It's Children in Need tonight. If you don't know what Children in Need is, in the UK they have it's a charity drive for children in need. It's caused. You might be in the giving frame of mind, you might not be into that kind of thing. I understand either way. I'm just going to do my bit of shilling to see if I can get you to give to these causes that I believe in and I think are useful. So, with that said, if you don't want to do any of that, just go and watch the video. It all counts. I realise money is tight these days for everyone. And we'll kick off this evening with a new one for me. I need to get the spreadsheet up. This is by Vocation. It's called Muerte Margarita. Death by Margarita. Salted lime sour. Ooh, salted lime sour. I like sour things. I like salty things. I like lime. You've survived death by cherries, laughed in the face of death by pineapple, danced with kiss of death, and came out the victor. But this time we're going south of the border, and death comes with a salty rim. This is a bright, zesty, and sour beer inspired by the classic Mexican cocktail with bright citrus lime sourness balanced by agave's subtle smoky sweetness and a flaky sea salt finish. Doesn't smell particularly fresh or zesty. It isn't very hazy, but then doesn't claim to be, so that's okay. Let me know what your beverage of tipple of choice is tonight. It looks like Iron Brew. Oh. It's not bad. It was just not what I was expecting. It's almost like cider. Anyway. So, who else have we got? Stu Strickland, nice to see you. Easy questions are always fun, says Brian. They are indeed. And hopefully everyone gets a little bit more fun tonight with some easy questions. Juggler's in. I thought you couldn't make it. Christine in from Oswego. Dreich Oswego. Spell check is not my friend. Dreich is a good Scottish word. Mr. Humphrey's got some good airflow going on. Yeah, I should move out of the way. Look at that. Mr. Humph is not doing well. He's over here at the moment because he wants to stay away from that as much as possible. But where I thought he was making a bit of a comeback last week, he's made a bit of a uncomeback, and he went downhill. He went downhill fast yesterday. Lost all his colour. His cock deflated again. I was convinced I was going to lose him. I didn't know what had gone on. The only thing that I'd noticed is I had done a water change. So I've been upped his water changes recently since he's not been feeling well. And I did these water changes. There was a little bit of cyanobacteria on the substrate down here. So as I was hovering the hose over it to suck it up, I disturbed the stand a little, and a big belch of air happened. So I thought, have I got pockets of, bad gas, as they say, trapped underneath the sand, and I've just not noticed them coming out, and that's what it is, because the water's testing fine. It's pristine, massive water changes, very low nitrates, no nitrites, no ammonia whatsoever, everything else stable. So I treated them, as I think I mentioned a couple of times, I treated them for a few things. Yeah, and he started to get better last week, but yeah, he went downhill fast. So I thought I'll get a bunch more air in there, and that is a bunch more air in there. Hoping to add more oxygen, because he was staying up at the top. When generally when he's chilling, he chills on the bottom. But yeah, he was kind of hanging around up at the top, which to me signifies, while he wasn't gasping as such, maybe it was a oxygen deficiency. So I thought I'll run more air, get a lot more surface movement in there, and he has picked up. So if he does come into shot, you'll see he still looks a bit grey compared to normal, and his cock is a little bit dented. But compared to yesterday, it's a completely different fish. So I'm hoping that is the issue, that we found the issue, and he is back to moving on the up rather than on the down. So we'll see. It's never fun trying to diagnose fish, especially when it's such a big part of my fish keeping journey. He's one of my favourite fish. I don't name all my fish, but Humphrey definitely deserved a name. He's a big personality. So, Jugglers, leaving in a few. The plane lands at 10:15. Oh, you're going to miss your own quiz. Oh dear. Brian will try to win for you. There you go. Which film includes the line, "Hey you guys"? That is not one of the questions, but you know, might be one of the films involved. Warren, nice to see you. Warren Vintner says, "Hi everyone." Fish Fam Link. Fish Fam Link is in the house. Might be a person, might be a robot. We never know which one's going to be on the end of the keyboard. So glad you included Dr. A. Yeah, as am I. I emailed him. I don't know if he's in his country or he's away at the moment, but I'd like to get him on as well. He had me as a guest on his channel. I'd like to get him on and talk about the work that they do better than I can do. So I thought that would be useful. So hopefully that might happen in the coming weeks. What time's the quiz? 10 PM UK time, so 42 minutes from now. Ish. Suggestion for the next year, the calendar needs guppies in it. Maybe we'll do like a guppy only calendar one year, just for you. And there, that's what took me so long. That's the GoFundMe for anybody that wants to. I've seen a notification that someone has done something to the GoFundMe. So whoever you are, thank you for that. It was Scott. Thank you, Scott, for the £7 donation. Yeah, it's not nice. I don't think I like that. Yeah. Nabokov's here. Nice to see you. Brian says, money isn't tight, I'm just Scottish. And that's fine. You're under no obligation to donate or buy a calendar or any of those things. If you want to, it's much appreciated, but lots of reasons not to, so I completely understand. Good evening, Lee. Nice to see you all the way from Bolton. Did you see Vernon today? That'll mean nothing to anybody that's not in the UK and doesn't listen to Radio 2. That is a sour. It is a sour. It's especially sour. I like sour things. Silver is making a slow-cooked fajitas on the grill with homemade Spanish rice and charro beans. Smelling good. I can almost smell that from here just for the description. Poor Humphrey. Yeah, it's not fun for poor Humphrey. Run some carbon on Humphrey's tank. I've done so many water changes. There's nothing to remove from the water. There's no nasties in there. Can we see Humphrey? Coffee for me this morning. So you can see Humphrey. Can you see Humphrey? He's been getting a little bit more interactive, and this is an improvement. The fact that he's doing something. It might be easier if I turned that box off. You'd be able to see him a little bit. But as you can see, some of the colours coming back. Well, you might not be able to tell compared to last week. He's getting there. An appropriate amount of air. It is a literal poop ton of air. Dino 1878. I told you we'd be back. I love koi, but I stay for the boss tanks. Thank you. Only Oscar shared the fundraiser. That's the other thing you can do is if you are members of any groups, whether they be Facebook groups, YouTube channels, member areas, Discord group, whatever it is, and they won't kick you out for doing so, if you could send them the link to the video about the calendar or tell them about the calendar, because I think this is a universally good thing for both fish keeping in general and our hobby, or a good thing in general for humans as a society as well as the hobby. So share it far and wide. I think I'm about to sneeze. Just have to decide on that in a minute. Oh. Enjoying the show, says FishFamLink. Hit that like button to show it. Thank you, FishFamLink. Wow. I hope it's strong to put up with this taste. Nope. 4.5%. Bought a calendar and donated the same amount of money to the GoFundMe, so it's £7 to each charity from you. Thank you, Scott. I should have a yay button. Well done, Scott. Thank you very much. If you don't like it, only one thing for it. Oh yeah, but it's so gassy. I fear that may have repercussions. I'll just put up with it. The carbon is for in case they're flushing the pipes or something. Well, they did flush the pipes fairly recently, but I already run my HMA filters, and you might remember I did a video about my upgrading my HMAs or upgrading the cartridges for it because of that very thing. So I think we would have caught that. I forgot to tell Mrs. H about the calendar, so I'm sure 2 will be brought. That's what we need, Brian. Which cat? First time on the stream. Really recently watched the Temu Wish comparison video. Thank you. You're the one. Of all of my Temu videos, that was the worst performing one, but thank you. Nice to see you here. So, bit of admin for anyone who is new here, because we have had a fair old bump in subscribers recently. Thank you for joining me. This is more of a, while I am an aquarium, aquatic based channel, the long form videos are more about your aquatics and stuff. The Friday night is just a let's all chill out, have a bit of a laugh, play some games, talk about whatever topics come across. So if we don't hunker down on all things fishy, that's why. But nice to have you nevertheless. Is there a link to the calendars? There is a nicely prompted, June. Thank you very much. I'm sure we can do that. It's basically my merch, the merch section of my website. And the first 2 links in there are the calendars. Got some work to do. I think. Let me just check Discord, because I think the digital one wasn't working properly for people who didn't live in the US, UK. But I think I fixed that. If not, we shall try again. Yep, it was me. Well, welcome. Nice to see you anyway. Right. I didn't know Vernon was in Bolton today. Apparently he went to a school near me. Okay, so, just to explain to that to people who aren't in the UK, Children in Need is a charity helping children in need. And it's kind of related to the BBC, so it's a big thing that's on all night. It's on telly all night tonight. And loads of celebrities and stuff get involved in it. Vernon is a radio presenter now, I guess? And has been doing an ultra marathon running from Leicester to Bolton, 2 places in the UK, and it's been all over the radio. So every time I've been in the car, it's been this bloody Vernon running up this bloody hill, and he's got to win. And today he went to Bolton because he's from Bolton. There you go. Hope that makes sense. Aquarium Adventures. As we like to play games on a Friday, you can play Doctors and Nurses next week. What you do on your end of the camera is totally up to you. I will not be playing Doctors and Nurses. Question, is it December yet? I've just driven home and seen several houses with Christmas trees up already. What is going on? Surely it's too early. 100% agree. one of those mentalists is in the chat right now who's got his Christmas tree up. But yeah, I was driving around Sheffield the other night taking my kids to the karate or something, whatever I was doing, and I counted about 6, and I'm going, it's barely the middle of November, and all these people have got getting their money's worth. That's all I can say. They're getting their money worth out their decorations. But yes, Nabokov was posting pictures of Christmas trees earlier. I'm a 12 days before, 12 days after kind of person. Not, I get it, December. Some people are like, yep, December, go for it. Fine. I will still judge you silently from afar. But 12 before, 12 after, and usually it's kind of 12 before, 7 after, if that. If the Christmas decorations make it to New Year, we're doing well in our house. Missy's Aquarium Adventures seems to get an urge to clean things up too quickly. Oh, suffered a large power outage yesterday, and it got me thinking about a UPS. Any suggestions? Not specifically, but it has had me thinking about them as well. So I have run UPSs, so I work in IT. We've had various data center clearouts, and I've had UPSs, and they kind of work. But it's not the way I would go now. I don't think so anyway. So a UPS is more for its intended purpose. UPS stands for uninterruptible power supply. And it's more for stability than it is for providing longevity. So it has the better ones have 2 functions, the worse ones have 1. The 2 functions are it provides stability, constant signals, constant power. It kind of evens out any peaks and troughs and just gives a pure, reliable amount of power to your server rack or whatever it is that it's powering. And the second one is if it loses power, there's a battery in there. And it will deliver that power for a time. Pardon me. But generally, the design is, if you think of it as a flowchart, I've noticed the power's out. I'm going to send a signal to the server to say the power's out, start shutting down. I will now turn the battery on for the amount of time it takes to shut that server down, which is usually minutes, if that. Because if you think about these things, these are high load things, often multiples of them in the same server cabinet. So when we kind of chop them out and bastardize them for use in a fish room, for instance, it's a little bit different. The loads that it's experiencing are different. But for the most expensive high-end ones, the battery sizes and capacities just didn't cut it for what they were there. They were there to deal big amounts, big numbers for small time rather than medium number for medium time. So while you could get configurations that would work if you had enough time, money, space, all those good things, it's not where I would go these days. I'd more be looking at the large, if you want like an off-the-shelf product, your things, I've instantly forgotten the name of them. Jackeries and things like that. There's many types, but you know, like the big ones you roll around on wheels, it's got the power sockets on the front of it. They're hundreds of pounds for a decent sized one, but it would probably run your fish room for a decent amount of time. But what I would probably do instead is kind of what I've done with the pond outside. So, you know, if you go and look at one of my videos about the solar panel setup for the pond, where I have the solar panel going through the controller into a battery connected to an inverter to turn the DC into the AC. That kind of system, but spec up your batteries. So you could then run that. It wouldn't be automatic necessarily, but it would give you a more sustainable source of power, I guess, as well as a cheaper, more reliable source of battery backup. If it works for you, if you just want to get something that's one and done, then yeah, get one of those Jackeries or one of the alternatives, power it up, and just have it sat there ready to go in the background, or buy all the components yourself to make your own one, if you like. That's the route I would go down these days anyway. Go check out the photos that just got posted on Discord. Holy smokes, is that about your... Are we still talking about Christmas trees? Refuse to engage in Christmas chat. I don't mind post Halloween. I don't mind hearing Christmas songs, but I'm not in the Christmas spirit yet. The missus decorated her glass Christmas tree the other day. I couldn't stop her. Yeah, at the end of the day, if it makes you happy, why not? I'm going to judge you, but if it makes you happy, what do you care whether I judge you or not? My neighbour had the lights up on the 1st of November, bloody hell. Sometimes you think, have they put them up early or are they taking them down really late? 1st of December up, 7th January down. Yeah, you're in the acceptable window there, Simon. Wha? Can taste the lime now. My tree's up in the attic where it belongs until the 2nd week of December. I'm with you, Ross. I'm lucky if I manage to get my tree up a week before. So I think that's kind of still fine. My birthday is the 6th of December. Hint, hint. No tree until after that. First week of December for Lanks Fish Keeper. Down before New Year. This year's additional is a 16-foot Grinch. The neighbours will love us. Ah, that sounds excellent. We'll need to have pictures of that on Discord, please. You would do better. So, Witch Cat? Am I saying that right? Witch Cat? We do better with a small inverter generator or a solar generator. I think that's kind of what I was going. I live off grid and find both to be excellent ideas. Yeah, a lot of my stuff came from off grid people watching their videos of how they've set their stuff up and then kind of scaling it back a bit to fit for me. Oh, Scott's bought one. Let's see if we can look at that link. So, good brand. That's not a bad price, to be honest. How many watts is it? Where does it say that? I can't see anything. Oh, there. It's up here. 520 watts for £85. Hey, that isn't bad, but it just doesn't last a long time. That's the only thing. You need to be remembering these things. There are calculations you can do. So, as it's alluding to here, it depends what your draw is going to be, and then you work out how long these things will last. But yeah, decent option. Oh, the chat's going a bit fast. Sorry. For solar, check out the US company Point Zero Energy. It's pricey, but well worth it. Okay. Just planning to run the air pump, so the load would be super small. Yeah, but you'd probably get away with something like that then. I think, because I was trying to not price it up, but start to plan it out for in here. I'll probably just run my air pump as well, because all the tanks have... Oh, is that right? All the tanks have a sponge filter. Some of them have extra filtration, but they've all got sponge filters in them. So as long as I keep that running, the insulation in here should keep things hot enough. I should be okay. Scott says, to be fair, she did a good job with it, but it's too bloody early. Scott, come on. That's Grinch territory. 24th up, 26th down. Christmas trees we're talking about again. Right. What time are we at? We are at 21:37 here. I want to remind you all that we've got the quiz coming in about 20 minutes. I'm going to do something else new as well, so maybe after this week. Rather than giving prizes out each week, we might do like here's the plan. This is what I was thinking. I've got a few things from suppliers, so you might have seen that. Huger light, it's fine, it's good quality light. It's a decent prize. I thought that would make for a quiz, but maybe if we reward loyalty as well as wizardry, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. I compile the points for 3 weeks or 4 weeks, and then at the end of the 4 weeks, whoever's got the most points gets a bigger prize, rather than just getting a packet of bug flakes or whatever it is that I send. So it might be a light, a filter, some merch, something or other, and that way we just have a chance for luck to be ironed out, and loyalty, that's not the right word I'm looking for, but attendance, just coming again and again, you get more chance to win more points. It might just be like the top 3 that we compile the scores from, those kind of things. So that's we're not doing that this time. This will just be a normal quiz week, but I'm thinking of ways to enhance the quiz, make it a little bit better, a little bit fairer. What do you think of that? Which cat? I'm saying it right. I'm assuming that's what that means. Only Oscars went with digital. Looks great. Good. I'm glad that worked. Anyone in the UK know of a good vacuum that works on sand? Where is my... I've got a gravel vac that is best thing since sliced bread. I've had it for years. I don't know where I got it. I've never seen it, but let me see this one. Ta-da! It's this. I've had it for so many years, I can't remember where I got it. I don't think it's anything special. I acquired it at a time in my hobby when I was skint and just buying things because they were cheap rather than anything else. But I want to draw your attention to this shape here. So lots of gravel vacs are just like this, and they work fine. But this bit, it's obviously got the wide part here, but if you spin it that way as well, it kind of has a cone shape bit in the middle. Just the pinches in there a little bit. And I find that this works extra well on gravel, but you can get all but the finest of sands. It will treat like gravel just with this little extra width part of it. So if you can find one like this, and your sand isn't super fine, that might work. But yeah, this is, like I say, I've had this for as long as I've had fish. No idea where it came from, but it does the job. Crash bang. You have towels. I do have towels. For anyone who is in the UK, and you don't want to give to charity, but you want to give to me. Pardon me. Sorry. That was a bad joke. I sell stuff on my website. So you can go to aquariumadventures.co.uk, little face. And as you see here, we've got the merch. That's where you go to get the calendars. So you can have digital camera or pre-order the physical calendar. But there's t-shirts, polo shirts, hoodies, zip-up hoodies, towels, and beanie hats. All provided by our good friend Phil over at Elite Logos for You. These are the embroidered ones. So if you fancy any of them, that supports the channel. If you go to, what is it called? aquariumadventures.myspreadshop.co.uk. You can buy any of the other merch items that you might be interested in. With some of the other designs. So it's lasted. The Oma Balls merch is back on the spread shop. They haven't taken it down this time. So basically any of my designs you can get on any number of products. And you can also customize these yourself. You can make them bigger, smaller, change them, add your own text, font, all that good stuff. But basically we've got the I have more fish tanks than friends, the Aquarium Nerd, basically that on any product, the good old Aquarium Adventures logo. But yeah, you can put them on whatever you want. So yeah, if you want to, go and buy my stuff. Whoop whoop. That's enough shilling for now. Oh, we've just been invited to a Christmas do. Christmas do's in November. That's my gravel vac. That's my gravel vac. Hands off. Maidenhead Aquatics does ones like Graham's. Yeah, I mean, I've never looked for it again because I've heard how many gravel vacs does one man need. Let's see if I can find it on good old Amazon. It's just I've never found one that has that same shape at the bottom, and that seems to be the bit that makes a difference for sand, at least. I probably got it at Pets at Home or something like that. But yeah, if you can get it at Maidenhead, then maybe that's the place. I can't see it immediately on Amazon. What if you did a month-long leaderboard reset at the end of the month for Mega Prize? That kind of thing, that's what I'm thinking that. Seen that in Pets at Home. Yeah, it probably was Pets at Home. Merch links, thank you, Scott. Thought I was selling myself for a second, you know. I'm waiting for that $100 super chat that I was promised to start juggling with dangerous implements. Oh, we're nearly finished. Thank God. Whoa. Right. Back in a second. I'm just going to go and rinse this glass out so it doesn't taint the next beer. Ooh. Sorry about that, people. I've seen that one at the range. Yeah. Sometimes cheap stuff's good stuff. Sometimes. Right, for beer number 2, we're going with By the Horns Brewing Company, Hopadelic. Now that sounds more my kind of thing. It's a session IPA, hoppy, fruit, citrus and fruity, 4.3, so doing quite well on the strength tonight. All beer, no bull. We have a progressively traditional attitude towards brewing our beers, combining flavour, tradition, skill and experience in a forward-thinking manner. Sounds good. Oh, smells hoppy. Hoppy but not hazy. I think hoppy and hazy are definitely my... you can almost see through that. Oh, that's more like it. I need a sour glass now. I definitely don't. I need to not buy another sour because that was minging. Rinsing with arrow water, the ultimate beer trick. It is handy having a fish room, I suppose. I appreciate your enthusiasm for trying new. Kind of funny to see it live. All in good fun. Hey, I'm nothing if not experimental. I always have an open mind, willing to try anything. But yes, you're quite right. The next one is insanely enjoyable in comparison. Maybe that's what the trick is. Try something truly disgusting. Then you'll like things better. It's a bit meh, if I'm completely honest, now that I think about it. It kind of is just hoppy rather than it being a flavourful hop. Light, I suppose. Meh, it is what it is. Where did you buy those beers from? All from Sainsbury's. I happened to be there earlier, so I got that. Robert Kerr, I took my beanie hat all the way to... He did as well, it's true. I have photographic evidence. Took the hat all the way to Alaska just to promote the brand. See, that's somebody who's undying support of the channel. Look at his profile picture as well. Not only is he wearing a hat, he's wearing a t-shirt as well. And this Christmas will be much the same. You'll be getting more of my merch. More hops, more pine taste, like Christmas but in the woods. Living in a shovel-dug bunker, you build a way to get away from hybrid mutant beers. Okay. Bitter hops. No, it's not bitter, it's just meh. Perfectly enjoyable. It's just a bit... Is it... I would describe it as watery, but I don't think that's a very educated way to describe it. It tastes a bit watery. It smells hoppy, it tastes hoppy, but it just feels a bit watery. You know, with my favourites, where they're proper hazy, it feels like you kind of have to chew a little bit. You obviously don't, but I'm not very good at expressing what I'm trying to say. Photos in Discord equal Aquarium Photos channel. Pardon me. I was not aware we had an Aquarium Photos channel. Oh, yes we do. Aquarium Pictures. Yeah. Oh, Callum's posted some pictures today of some nice African chitchlids. Calendar quality, yes, but the calendar has... We've missed the boat on the calendar, I'm afraid. If you're ever in Texas, try Deep Ellum IPA. Good stuff. It's got the body and flavour and all the good things beer has to offer. I've heard of that. Is that because you've mentioned it before, or have I seen it here somewhere? Deep Ellum. Yeah. I recognise it, but I can't think where. I'm now just reading about beer while live on the internet. Sorry about that. Tim says, at beer festivals, I try to get the eggy or otherwise horrible beers out the way before going on to the nice ones, or try the strongest ones first. Then it doesn't matter. See, that they're both good approaches to that, I fear. I've never really been to a beer festival, but I think I might have refined my palate enough to be ready for that kind of, to jump in and try that. Trying the strongest one first, certainly. That I've been caught out by that a few times, where I've been drinking one quite happily, going, "Oh, this is quite nice." And you go, "What? It's 11%." Oh, then you just fall over. You can't beat a normal pint of Tennent's. You can, it turns out. Tennent's is the Carling of Scotland, for those who don't know. Oh my gosh, I forgot to tell you, I finally bought me a Canon DSLR. It's a Canon Rebel XS, or in the UK known as the 1000D. It doesn't shoot video and no audio, so it's my daughter's Christmas gift. Right, a step in the right direction. I thought the Rebels were the 200s, but I suppose the Rebel XS, I'm not sure. It's all good. Hopefully you get some nice pictures. Rebecca's in the house, just in time for the quiz that you will be terrible at. I don't mean to make predictions. For those of you who are new here, Freshwater Ichthyology, or Rebecca, is a resident ichthyologist. Any questions about anything on the scientific spectrum, anything about fish, biology, genetics, no problem at all. Any questions about a film made before the year 2000, not even. It's like knocking on the door but nobody's home. Some would say that that's probably the right way to be. Knowledge of films pre-2000 isn't all that useful, really. The whole reason I got the camera was so as I could shoot videos on the go. I tell you what might be a good thing to look out for. Look for some DJI, the action cams, the Osmo. They've brought out a new one recently, which is meant to be amazing, but the old one is pretty good. 4K, comes on its own gimbal, all that kind of stuff. Fantastic video quality. In fact, I'll show you. These things. The Pocket, I think this is the Pocket 2, but they've brought out the Pocket 3, or sometimes they're called the DJI Osmo. But it comes with its own, it's a tiny little camera. You think, how can something with a sensor that size be any good whatsoever? But it's 4K, 60 frames per second, if not 120 frames a second. Own little steadying gimbal, fantastic quality. It was quite expensive when it came out, but because there's a new one coming out, you might be able to get this model cheaper, and it's fantastic quality. Definitely worth it. Okay, so where have we got? We've got 5 minutes before the quiz. Put out the quiz link, Graham. That's what we need to do. What number are we on? 136. Turn down the desktop audio so everyone doesn't get shocked. Classic host. Right, let's hope we do it without any issue this week. It's been a little bit flaky the last couple of weeks. There you go. There's the link to the quiz. If you want to play along, click that link. Fun for everyone. As fast as fingers first. There's some quizzes about comedy films from the 1980s. Some fishy questions. Some easy questions this week. So everyone should have a chance. Have a go at it. Oh, it's kicked me out straight away. Hang on. At least it kicked me out straight away. So ignore that first link. And use this link. So, yeah, it kicked me out, sorry. Use the second one. Beer festivals are good, says Rebecca. I went with my partner and parents. Me and my mum only drink cider, so we were very limited on the choice. Cider, out of beer or cider. The only 1000D I know is the Corsair 1000D, which is my PC case. I use it as a desk leg, it's so big. Which Cat says, I'll rip the Rebecca on the 80s knowledge. We've got this. You can join up. Too late for cheese? What nonsense is this? Never too late for cheese. It's always time for cheese. On its own gimbal too. It's fantastic. It's called the DJI Pocket 2. It's a fantastic little thing. Great quality. The only downside is it doesn't have a microphone jack, so I had to buy this third party USB microphone jack, and then it works fine. But yeah, it's very good stuff. Alright, sorted. We've got 23 people. We've not had more than 20 for a while. This is looking good. Any techie or camera nerds in the audience that have a decent camera I could use to shoot video on the go and have macro capabilities under $300? Well, I'd love to have a crack at that. I would hope you could pick up the one I was showing you for less than $300. But an old GoPro would be good. Or even an older DSLR. DSLR, is that what I said? The Canon M50 I use, if you can pair that up with some good lenses, a perfectly capable camera. That's why I have two of them. Right, are we about ready? The time has come, people. Let me share a little face. Pardon me. Let's put my face over here. Why am I so big? Who knows? Right, are we ready, people? Here we go. Which of these Clint Eastwood films is not a Western? A Fistful of Dollars, The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, Every Which Way But Loose, or Pale Rider? One of them had a monkey in it. An orangutan. Straight away, no idea who he is, never heard of any of these films. Every Which Way But Loose, it was, of course. Well done, 16 people. You've never heard of Clint Eastwood? He's like a famous director now, if not, never mind, movie star. Dirty Harry. People in Iceland were evacuated over fears a volcano would erupt. How many active volcanoes are on the island? $79, 7, 130, or 22? Right turn, Clyde. Quite right. Clyde was the orangutan. There are 130 volcanoes on Iceland. Well done, Beer Me Bro. You obviously read the same news article I did. We're only 2 questions in, Scott. You can do this. Question number 3. Johnny Five was struck by lightning and became sentient in which film? Was it Short Circuit, Weird Science, The Goonies, or Batteries Not Included? Johnny Five was struck by lightning and became sentient in which film? If you know it, you know it. It was Short Circuit. Taxi Jugglers playing. Either on the way to or from the airport. Discus, Angel, Crebensis, Tropheus are all types of what? Is it religion, sporting event, cichlid, or characaform? I know that's not how you say it, that's how I say it. I like saying it like that. So, the fish question, the fish person gets wrong. So you're going to have to get that one of the 80s film questions right. New beer time. This is the Tiny Rebel Bubbles 6.2 Mango and Mandarin IPA. In Back to the Future, what speed did they need to reach to time travel? Is it 66 miles an hour, 99 miles an hour, 77 miles an hour, or 88 miles an hour? Oh, I can smell the mandarin. Not so much the mango. This is a very... have you seen this film? You must have seen this one, Rebecca. It's a rite of passage. And it is, of course, 88 miles an hour. Well done, Potato Face, 1.4 seconds. This one smells the best. In Caddyshack, what was Bill Murray's character trying to rid the golf course of? Caddyshack, obviously an 80s comedy movie. That smells a lot nicer than it tastes. Was it a gopher, a rabbit, a goat, or a snake? You've not seen Back to the Future, you just know it's an old person, a young person in a car. Oh, almost universally everyone got that one right. We're going to have to start setting homework for Rebecca to go and... There must be so many things in society that you don't know what people are talking about. It's Children in Need tonight. What is the name of the bear mascot? Apologies to everyone who's not British, who probably has no idea. But is it Wilson, Wellington, Pudsey, or pudding? I say again, Wilson, Wellington, Pudsey, or pudding? But of course, with the delay, you've probably already answered. And remember, if you win tonight, you get to pick the theme for next week. It was Pudsey. The bear is the mascot for the Children in Need charity night. Oh, my balls. Something's happened. Which athletics event, that's meant to say, has a current world record of 243 feet? Is it triple jump, javelin, discus, or shot put? Fish or animals? Well, if you win, you get to pick that. We're doing it like Mastermind, but you get a specialist subject. You can pick your specialist subject. That's your prize for winning. It's discus, 243 feet. Imagine that. No PC audio coming through, sorry, I forgot to turn it back up. What is the name of the family of criminals in the Goonies? Is it the Fratellis, the Holloways, the Cortiners, or Franz Ferdinands? You must have seen the Goonies. The Fratellis. They even had a band called the Fratellis named after them. Well done, Monkey Cheese. So we're coming up to the halfway point. Question 10. Which of these 80s films was the biggest hit at the box office? Was it Uncle Buck, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Beverly Hills Cop, or Crocodile Dundee? I was surprised at this one. Surprise, surprise, Rebecca's not seen the Goonies either. All of them were bands, yeah, good point. It's Crocodile Dundee. By quite a margin. What was Romeo's family name in Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet? Was it Jones, Capulet, Montague, or Smith? It's a bit highbrow, this one, isn't it? So, two of them, Montague and Capulets, were the names in Romeo and Juliet, but which one was it? It was Montague. Well done, Scott. But still all to play for at the top. Which term concerns fish that lay eggs? Is it just read them. I'm not going to be able to say those words. Which one means egg laying? Which cat has booted me? Oh no! If you click the link again and get back in, you should be able to rejoin as yourself. Otherwise, I can only apologise it. I have little control about the flakiness of the quiz. It's oviparous. They all mean something except for one of them. I know, it made sense in my head before I said it, I know. That wasn't even Scott, that was someone else. Turning ammonia into nitrogen in your aquarium filter is commonly known as the nitrogen what? See? Easy questions. Hopefully. Is it the nitrogen cycle? Is it the nitrogen magic? Is it the nitrogen change or the nitrogen process? Well done, almost everyone. Shadow! There's a point in it at the top. 1 point. Which Sylvester Stallone film franchise has most movies? Is it Rambo, Rocky, The Expendables, or Escape Plan? Give you a clue, it's not The Escape Plan or The Expendables. I didn't even know The Escape Plan was a franchise. I've not seen the third film. It's Rocky. Of course it is. There's about 30 billion of them. Question 15. Which is hottest? My fish room, 30 Celsius, 84 Fahrenheit, 301 Kelvin. I'll give you a clue, it's not my fish room, because it's currently 26 degrees. Oh dear, pardon me. It was 30 Celsius. 303 Kelvin is 30 Celsius. 86 Fahrenheit is 30 Celsius. You should all know that, obviously. What is this? Is it the United Kingdom, British Isles, England, or Great Britain? Now, a lot of you answered that very quickly. I don't think you read the answer. I'm going to suggest a lot of people went, ooh, and clicked something that they recognised. I suspect there'll be a lot of wrong answers on this one. Do you know what it is? Oh no, most people got it right. I take it back. I apologise, everyone. Shadow! Under a second! I'm always impressed by people who do it under a second. The quiz is somewhere where you can say that with a straight face. Parapsychologist toast a marshmallow would poorly explain the plot of which 80s classic movie? Is it Ghostbusters, Planes, Trains and Automobiles, Beetlejuice, or Police Academy? Parapsychologist toast a marshmallow would poorly explain the plot of which 80s movie? Of course it was Ghostbusters. Who are you going to call? There's another new Ghostbusters coming out soon as well, isn't there? Question 18. In a DSLR camera, what does the R stand for? Refractor, reflecting, reflector, or reflex? Not gonna lie, I got this wrong. That's why I included it, because it was in a quiz that I went to. It's reflex. Scott Shadow, whoever you are, got that one. Timmy straight into the lead with 2 questions to go. What's going on? An F1 car hit what in practice, causing chaos at the Las Vegas Grand Prix? What did an F1 crash into? A bridge, a snake, a casino chip, or a manhole cover? What a farce the Las Vegas Grand Prix has been. It was a manhole cover. Well done, Monkey Cheese. Still, anyone in the top 3 or 4 could win this. Last question. Bill S. Preston and Ted Theodore Logan had an excellent adventure in 1989. What was the name of their band? Was it Wheeled Stallions, Wicked Mules, Crazy Horses, or Dope Donkeys? It was, of course, Wild Stallions. Seen that one, Rebecca? Third place, Potato Face. Monkey Cheese. Jimmy! With his second ever win. Well done, Timmy. Well done, everyone. Monkey Cheese, Potato Face. As I always say, over 300 points is a very respectable score. Let's have a look at the report. Oh, look at that. We've got up above 60%. Normally we hover around 50%, so it was easier. What have we got? 14 questions. Has anyone got more than 14 questions right? So at least... Oh no, there is one. I Know Nothing got 15 questions right, but only got 241 points. So Timmy got 14 questions right, as did Monkey Cheese, as did Taxi Juggler, as did Nuclear Humper, as did Scott Shadow. But Timmy answered them faster. That's what gets you the points. Well done, everyone. I hope that was in some way enjoyable. Just when I thought I was actually going to beat Stevie P. Well done, Tim Reptile. Hooray, he says. Well done to me. I got all the film ones right, says Brian. The rest I got wrong. 14th. You know. These things aren't easy. I guessed a lot. Back to the taxiing for Juggler. So, Timmy. That means... Tim Reptile. That means you get to pick next week's specialist subject. So this one was obviously a 1980s comedy film. If you can think of something, it doesn't need to be movies, it doesn't need to be pop culture, it doesn't need to be, it can be whatever you want. It could be animals, it could be reptiles, it could be... If it could be a mastermind specialist subject, then you're allowed to pick it. So we'll give you a few minutes, but what is your specialist subject going to be? Because everyone wants to know. You have to pick it now, or before the end of the stream at least, so as everyone gets a chance to go, okay, I'm now going to Google that thing and figure out what it is. So have a couple of minutes. I'm just watching to see who has my chicken icon. Oh, Potato Face, is that yours? I wouldn't use the word well, it's demonstrably easier because 60% of the questions were answered correctly. And Lisa says that's the most points that she's ever gotten. So, yeah, easier. Some of those were downright easy. You've got to give us that. I got nervous because the missus was playing as Potato Face. She knows nothing about fish and wasn't alive in the 80s, and she was ahead of me. Oh, that's not what you want, is it? Oh, Mrs. H just got home from work. She's shouting fix at the quiz having happened already. I'm sorry. Witch Cat, nice to meet you too. Thank you for joining us. Hopefully we'll see you again. It takes me a few seconds to read the quiz. That's it. So I do think about this. I think I try and put in a mix of questions that have wordy questions and fast answers, questions that have fast questions and fast answers, so like short questions and short answers, and questions that have, so a mix of all those things. So hopefully you would notice that some of those questions had what's 2 plus 2 and then a bunch of numbers, so you don't have to spend a lot of time reading. Some of them have a lot of time reading the question but not the answers, and vice versa, the answers but not the questions. So what's the theme next week? Yes, get thinking about that theme. Reptiles. Reptiles I can do. Reptiles is probably a good one. That would be a very good theme to pick. June says, I missed the first 5 questions, but I still got over 100 points. Well done. You could have picked better 80s movies, though. Oh, come on. What are 80s movies? Like Alien. Yeah, is that might even be 70s movies. It is 1979. Aliens is 80s. We love you, but god damn, you make us feel old. I don't know if I told you this story, but yeah, I feel very old at the moment. Somebody recently told me, after me telling them a story about my work history and how I came to Sheffield to babysit a computer through the Millennium Bug, who said, oh yeah, my dad told me stories about the Millennium Bug back in the day when he had to... I'm like, what? Your dad back in the day? It's like 2 weeks ago for me. Uh, 1997. Yeah, but I mean, regardless. I've heard of the Beatles. I was not around in the 60s. You're allowed to watch things that were made before you were born. It's not like there's no rule against it. Alright, Tim Reptile says, I know it's obvious, but to try and keep it aquarium-y? Yeah, because 1980s comedy movies are very aquarium-y. How about a special subject of aquatic reptiles? Okay. Pardon me. Aquatic reptiles. Can I think of 5 questions about aquatic reptiles? I'm sure I can. Okay. There you go. You know what your homework is, people. Aquatic reptiles is going to be the specialist subject. Yes. I was trying to keep it for the general audience. If it's 80s, I do like Frasier, which was made in the 90s. Frasier, which started in 1993, running through to 2004. If you ever play 6 Degrees of Separation movie style, Alien and Pulp Fiction can link almost any actors within 3 to 4 degrees. Oh. I need to prep a Christmas movie night. I do, yeah, probably. Everything Good was made in the 70s. Or The Departed. Alright, here you go. There's a quiz question for you. What film was The Departed a westernised remake of? So, The Departed was a 2006 film based on what? It's actually really good. And I watched the other one first. And it's a really good remake as well. I feel old, says Rebecca. Apparently some of the undergrad students said Windows XP was ancient. It is. If you've still got Windows XP anywhere, get rid of it. You will be hacked soon. If you haven't already been. I was alive in the 60s. I still don't like the Beatles. Lots of title questions. Yeah, we'll definitely get some title questions. I still absolutely love Windows 98. See, I think what this tells us about is you're more comfortable with what you learned on, and there's almost two types of people. There's the early adopters style of people. Not that they necessarily have to be early adopters, but the people who are like, oh, what's next? What's new? I want to try it. I want to see it. And there's the ones that I've learned this, and this is all I'm willing to learn. I don't want anything to change. I want this interface. I want to press this button when I want to do that task. That's it. So yeah, because Windows XP was a fantastic operating system. I should really have we're about to get uber nerdy button. That one I'll probably do. It was a fantastic operating system, so nobody ever wanted to get rid of it. So still today there's Windows XP machines running mission critical things for all kinds of organisations. But I'm in the other camp of I like to try the new stuff. Aquarium Adventures, I'm sure you've got some people with a few of the answer choices, was all I meant. Had to be careful. I took a lot of reading time for the sake of clarity. Still 50% right. Yeah, I mean, it has to be a balance, I guess. Still very good for an American comedy. Dad's Army, although is better, but they're old history, very much. Frasier was 94 in the UK. Oh, was it? Okay. Evan, I think people who say they would have liked the 80s don't realise it's the 90s they're thinking of. Yeah, I think that's a few times that's been the case. Have you seen there's a new Frasier series? I haven't seen it, but I have seen it advertised. Somebody British is in it, aren't they? Somebody who made me think, what? They're in it? Because he's moved back to Boston, is it? Yeah, so they go back to Boston. Nicholas Lyndhurst. Yes, that's it. It made me go, what? Who? Who British people will know as Rodney or Dave from Only Fools and Horses. Infernal Affairs, Simon Littlefield. Ding ding ding, we have a winner. That's a great film. And there's like 3 or 4 of them, I think, of Infernal Affairs. Infernal Affairs is the original Departed. That's what The Departed is based on. It's Chinese? Is it Chinese? Is it Korean? Oh, I'm not sure. Hong Kong, yeah. It's very good. Well worth the watch. If you can handle subtitles or dubbing or whatever your preference is for watching foreign films, it's definitely worth it. If you think The Departed was good, Infernal Affairs was excellent. I think The Departed was an excellent film, and Infernal Affairs was better. Windows XP is 1999. I argued that it not being that old. Pretty sure the NHS still uses XP. Not if I've got anything to say about it. They don't. They shouldn't be. Nobody should be using XP. Lots of places like the MOD and the NHS paid for extended licenses and extended support for XP so as they could not have to update their massive computer systems, but it should be gone by now. And if you see it, tell someone. Infernal Affairs, it's called. Internal Affairs is a different film. Salient Aquatics, hey buddy, hey yourself, how are you doing? Turtles are budget tortoise who are rip-off lizards. Isn't it? This is one of those things that I can never remember. Every tortoise is a turtle, or every turtle is a tortoise. I'm going to stop there because I know that's not right. I thought they should have kept the Windows paperclip. Do you know, when that came out, everyone universally hated that. And when I was working on service desk tickets and things like that, when we were getting rid of that, there was a large percentage of the tickets where I can't find the paperclip. Where's Clippy to tell me how to write a letter? Is there something fuzzy at the bottom of the camera? I see the edge of a thing. It's vignetting. Yes. It's the top of my monitor. There you go. Is that better? Is that better? I like Windows 8. God, you are weird. No one likes Windows 8. No, Windows goes good one, bad one, good one, bad one, good one, bad one. Windows 8 was horrific. That was the one with the tiles and the 2 desktops and oh god, no, it was awful. I learned computers in the 80s. It's much easier now. I still have a copy of Windows XP. Actually, I've got a drawer full of like Office 2003, Windows XP. Like you say, it's like 6 discs. I've even got some floppy disks for Windows 2000 and Windows 98, I think. Or I've got a Windows Millennium Edition up in the... It's probably perished now, but it's in a drawer somewhere. I do not understand the new Windows version. All you have to do is sit back and think. Pretend you're as stupid as possible. What would a stupid person ask? And Windows 11's easy. You just, whatever you want to do, type it into the search box and it'll come up. It is that easy. Linux. I don't mind Linux either, I must admit. Some of the new... they're not even that new. Some of the Linux distros, they're so Windows-like that it's just easy to understand. They're almost intuitive. The older ones used to be a bit like, okay, I want to do, I don't know, I want to plug in a microphone. Right, now I'm going to have to learn C++ and spend hours doing it. But nowadays it's not like that anymore. It's pretty good. Dangerous Dances Films is not easy. I am with Rebecca. I don't like Mac where the things hide. Yeah, Macs, I've never managed to get on board with them. Right. Oh god, I'm miles behind the chat. Jesus. Windows Millennium was pretty good. Yeah. I don't know why that didn't last longer than Millennium Edition. I remember buying a PC that came with Millennium Edition. I thought, oh, this is the best thing since sliced bread. Up to date cutting technology, and like literally the day after I plugged it in, they're like, yeah, we're getting rid of this. Millennium Edition is rubbish. Next. I was like, oh, gutted. Windows 98 and XP, the golden years of Windows. The XP definitely. It lasted so long, and it just worked. Rodney the Plonker's the new Fraser, that's the one. I got you with a Javelin photo. I got it back with a Great Britain map and one randomly ignoring the wrong answers. Yeah, I thought that was a really clever question. You all caught me. Because Great Britain, United Kingdom, British Isles, all different things. From the Bristol comedy, Tall Guy Only Falls in Horse... Bristol comedy? Fools and Horses, yep. That's a London comedy. As a young horse-obsessed kid, I must say that show was a real disappointment when I was young. I tuned into Only Fools and Horses and saw no horses. Want a refund. Alright, let's see if we can catch up. Yes, Only Fools and Horses is definitely based in London. Peckham, to be specific. All manufactured chips, no new ones. Remanufactured chips. Well, have you seen the new AMD Threadrippers with like a bazillion cores in them, with fewer chipsets? Oh, that was. I stopped short of saying exciting, because how exciting can a new CPU release be? But that was quite clever, I thought. Doctor Who's been filmed in Bristol. Yep, not fussed by Only Fools and Horses. Doctor Who, is David Tennant come back to Doctor Who again? What's going on with that? I don't get that. Did you watch Red Dwarf? That's still Red Dwarf. Loved Red Dwarf. Yep, definitely. Every tortoise is a turtle, but not all turtles are tortoises, and then there are terrapins. That's the kind of thing that I was trying to say earlier, and I just don't get it. Did you ever watch Lex? Oh my god, it was so cheesy, but I lived that series. It was a sci-fi movie that had a living ship that looked like a dragonfly, and it could destroy planets. It had a reptilian female, a horny old man, and an undead warrior as the cast. I'm going to have to look that up. And 5 1/4 or 3 1/2, both. So I'm the specific age where if someone brought out a 5 1/4 floppy disk, I'd be like, old hat, my friend. You not seen the new ones? Have you seen that thing where somebody brought, I think it was a teacher, brought out a 3 1/2 inch disc in front of their class to show them this is what a floppy disk looked like, and they went, wow, did you 3D print the save icon? They didn't realise that used to be a disc. That's what it looked like. Yeah, so things have moved on so much. It blows my mind. My first job in computing was, I was a mainframe operator. Last one of the evening. It's the Lucy Kitchen IPA, 6.5% from Northern Monk. Yes, I was a mainframe operator. My first ever job. And the mainframe was bigger than this room that I'm sat in now. It was cutting edge. It was state of the art. It was all those things. And bear in mind, it was the size of this room. So all the way back there that you can't even see on the camera. And it had the storage capacity of 1 gigabyte. And people were like, can't believe it, a whole gigabyte? A gigabyte? What? No, we've never heard of such massive things. And then I now have quite an old thumb drive on there that has 32 of them in that size. It's amazing. I used to sell PCs around the time Windows Vista came out, another one of the shit ones. We thought it was crap, so installed a somewhat hooky version of Longhorn on it. Area manager was not happy. Indeed. That one's nice. And hazy. Mickey's joined. Nice to see you, Mickey. How are we doing? I'm trying to catch up before we get to the end, so I'm quite far behind. David is the new old Doctor. What? Threadripper's nice and all that. Intel had such a market share and the AMD board were so bad they pulled the hold my beer and went kung fu on the server market. Well, that's how they did it, but that's like 10-15 years ago now when they did the server market. It's what they've done to the AMD's been top dog for, as far as I'm concerned, the last 5 years, if not a bit longer. All the AM4 stuff, anyway. Here's one for the rest of us IT lot. What GPU should I look at getting? I'm trying to play the latest Assassin's Creed and have to get it, and have to have it on low medium and bottle in my GPU a GTX 1080. We're now going to get into fights about Nvidia versus AMD. I don't know. I'm not much of a gamer. My gaming needs are meager, so I look at video editing for my GPUs more than gaming. For a while, I know the 3060 Ti's had a big, massive cut in price, and they were a very capable GPU. They covered most things, but they're kind of getting old now, so it depends what you want to spend. The 3060 Ti was fairly reasonable. I bought one for my son recently. It was a toss-up between 3060 Ti and holding out for the, was it 7800? What was the 6800? 7800? 6700? I can't remember. The naming conventions are so terrible. But in the end, we went with the AMD one because it was a generation newer and slightly better, and we didn't really care about ray tracing. And that was all the Nvidia was going to do. But it's that sweet spot of price to performance. But like I say, I'm not a man. In fact, he's more of a gamer. He might be able to tell. There you go, 3060 Ti. Like he said, hey, look at me, I'm a gamer. I know my stuff. Or 3080, yeah. When I was looking at it, the 3060 Ti versus the 4060, you'd be as well going with the 3060 Ti because you didn't get that much more with the 40 series. I would go for just because I'm contrary, I would go for the equivalent AMD card because I just think they're a little bit better. Because the stats for the Nvidia cards just seem to be about things I don't care about. They're better at things I don't care about, so, you know. Do any computers fit floppy disks? Not in a long time. I still have a 3.5-inch floppy drive. I'm hoping it will become worth some money one day. Nabokov, a reminder to everyone, it's calendar season. If you're joining us late, you've missed me shilling mercilessly at the start of the show. We are selling calendars for Fishy good causes. So if you wouldn't mind, go and check on aquariumadventures.co.uk and have a look at the merch page. There's also the Just Giving page. Is it Just Giving? What did I say it was called? GoFundMe? Just Giving? I can't remember. It's GoFundMe. If you don't want one, just want to give money to the good causes, you can go on that as well. We're up to £17. Thank you, Scott and Lisa. And if you can do nothing else, go and watch the video where I talk about the calendar, because I'm going to give all the money that we make on that video. It's currently the worst performing video I've ever had, so it's not going to make much money unless you go and watch it 2 or 3 times. That'd be useful. Edward Scissorhands reminded me of the dead guy. Are we still talking about getting the bug? .3060 Ti and 3080 are the same price second hand as new 40 series or AMD. Well, let's see what Mickey says. 40 series would be nice, but the 30s will be cheaper and play all you need. Yeah. 40 series to me is like, it's the... Unless you go for the high-end ones, it just doesn't make sense. You may as well save a little bit of money and get the 3060s Ti's. I was shocked at memory sticks at school. We were told to get expensive 5 GB ones. 10 years later, I was shocked there were 64 gigabytes for less than a few hundred £100. And now you can get whoa. I remember the point at which it became £1 a gigabyte, and everyone going, "Oh, I can't believe it's happened. Oh, we've got to £1 a gigabyte." Now it's like multiples of gigabytes for £1. Took advantage of the Black Friday deals and got the Arctis Nova 7X wireless headset. Steel Series gang, I've got the Arctis 9. I think this is the Arctis 9. Fantastic headset. I hope you will like it. That's 7800. With the AMDs, don't get any of the 50 models because they can almost all be overclocked to get to the 50. The 50 models are just an overclocked, factory overclock. So if you want a 7850, for instance, you can just make one with your 7800. Right. 2253, if you've got any questions, burning questions, let me know, because by the time I get to the bottom of the chat, we'll have run out of time. Pardon me. I'm going to scroll. My advice for video cards right now, avoid the ones that blow up and start fires. Well, I would encourage everyone to listen to that. If your video card blows up and starts a fire, avoid. That's more about the 4090s and recently. And if you have an AMD CPU, don't get a 4070 or a 4080. I don't think that's the case anymore. There used to be, if you have an AMD CPU, get an AMD GPU, and if you have an Intel CPU, get an NVIDIA GPU. They all work with each other and have for quite a while. Listen, don't purchase NVIDIA. Most of NVIDIA is on Recall Watch. I mean, you have to take a lot of that with a pinch of salt. There's a lot of very... So graphics cards is the same as PlayStation versus Xbox. You have your fanboys, and they will not be told that the opposite number has merit of itself. So an NVIDIA fanboy will not accept that AMD cards have any good to offer the world. They're just terrible. No, you should never buy them. AMD people will, no, you should never buy any. Oh, just set fire to your house. Oh no, you should never do this. They're both good. The argument is that NVIDIA is a cash cow, a cash-grabbing cash cow. And I have sympathy for that argument. It very much is. It doesn't mean that AMD does not want to extract you every last cent out of you as well. But NVIDIA, there's just some shady stuff in there that would take too long to go across. I think you have to take emotion out of it when you're assessing these things and work out what actually matters to you. What are the good parts? What are the bad parts? If you really care about ray tracing, Because a lot of the reviews that you'll read online or you see videos of, they'll be like, oh, ray tracing is excellent on here. And you're like, okay, well, that's great. What is ray tracing? So it'll make a shadow move, or a light will, from different angles. Do I care if that's great or just good? Because AMD will do it well. NVIDIA will do it brilliantly. How much do you care about that particular feature? And it's that, applying that lens to all of the features will tell you whether or not you need to spend that extra 500 quid. Saying Intel equals NVIDIA, AMD equals AMD is not the case anymore. 100% agreed. Yeah. Question: what is your smallest tank you have at this time? Do you know what? I think my smallest tank might be... I'm still on this fundraiser page. That one. Or maybe... No, it's probably my Threadfin Rainbows, which are round the corner, opposite Mega Tank. They're my 26 litre Pets at Home tanks. 22 litres, something like that. Right, we're now talking about graphics cards rather than anything interesting, and they never were interesting to start with. So we're going to finish the stream on this question: how are the Discus doing and the pair? I will go and check because they laid again yesterday. So if all the eggs are white, we know they're not doing well. If some of the eggs aren't white, more than 24 hours later, well, that's a good thing. So the good thing is they're laying once a week, regular as clockwork. The bad thing is the first week, within 24 hours, all the eggs were white. Tonight, 20% of the eggs are white. It's more than 24 hours though, so if some of them are still viable tomorrow, then they might have got their act together. So I might be able to make part 2 of the Discus series. Right. I think I've almost pretty much caught up, other than refereeing a GPU debate. And it's 11 o'clock, so, you know, if you fancy carrying this on, there's always Discord. You can go and watch the Silver Creek Aquatics, I almost said. Silver Creek Wildlife, as it should be. You can go and watch the Coldwater Aquatic stream, which is probably on about now. A few batches before they do it successfully. Well, they've already had tons of batches where they've made it to wrigglers, so I think it's just because I've moved them, they're a bit... yeah. I'm also a bit worried that I've moved the wrong 2 fish, but we'll see. Buy your calendars, click the clicky things, watch the things. Bye, 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 bye.